have an executive session today because we're missing Mr. Jorgensen, and we'll catch up with any of those issues at our next meeting. And let's see, let's start with the date. Today's the 2nd of September. It's our first meeting of the month. Thanks to everybody who made it over here. I guess our next meeting will be over in back at our old space, which will be kind of cool.
Our old new space.
The old reconfigured new space. Is that, can you hear that? That's noisy, isn't it? That? Anybody? Nothing? Well, I'm not doing it on purpose. I just want to make sure I'm not doing it at all. Okay, so roll call. Looks like Dan and I are both here. Mr. Jorgensen's excused this week. And anybody on public comments today? Nobody?
No.
Anybody? Nobody? All right, that was easy. This is going to be a really quick meeting, isn't it? Okay, so let's just roll with our consent agenda. Here you go, Diane.
The motion to approve consent agenda items A through H.
Any discussion about this, Mr. Rogers?
You know, I really don't have any discussion on any of those issues.
All right, that's why they're on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Thank you for that. And administration, first item, please.
A motion authorizing the executive director to execute the settlement agreement between the Port of Bellingham, the Lexington Insurance Company, and the state of Alaska for the funding of the repair of the passenger ramp at the Bellingham Cruise Terminal.
Thanks, Diane. Anybody presenting this?
No. Would you like to put this one to the back? Oh, Frank is here.
Well, that's a good point. Can we do this at the end since he's not here?
All right, let's just set this aside for the time being and move to facilities.
Authorize the executive director to adjust the rate schedule pertaining to the meetings and events rental facilities.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Here representing meetings and events, and if you look on the third page of the handout you got, you'll see our proposed rate structure adjustment. You'll notice some of the rates go up, some go down, most go up. So we, as the Commission knows, we have facilities that we lease out for weddings and funerals and celebrations of all sort, and meetings as well. And we have great programs, great facilities, and we have a staff that runs this program for us very, very well. We have high customer service and high customer satisfaction and experience based on our surveys. So it's a great program. However, it loses money considerably. Matter of fact, since its inception, about 10 years ago, the Commission will have put about $1 million into that, into offering that to the community. So a goal we have is over the next few years is to restore this program to a point of fiscal neutrality. And we feel that we can do that very well. We've studied the market and our own constituency, and again, we have a very high occupancy rate. Just looking at the peak season, basically June through September, each facility misses one Saturday night in that whole 4 months, and perhaps 1 or 2 Friday and Sunday nights. So very, very full facility. And then last, we look at our the rates we charge, and in fact, they're very low compared to our competitors. We studied 19 other competitors in this market, and we are well the lowest. And the ones that are perhaps the most comparable, we are about 40% below. So based on that, based on wanting to get to a point of fiscal neutrality, the staff is inventing other revenue creations, as well as wanting to get our rates up to a competitive spot. Potentially over a few years, we would kind of ramp those back up. So the goal would then just be to offer good facilities at a competitive price, but not necessarily an overly subsidized price. Does the Commission have questions?
Do you really feel that the nominal amount we're increasing, which really doesn't look like much? For example, this facility is going up $10. none of them are much, one's $400 to $500. Do you think that'll really bring in enough revenue to make it revenue neutral?
Not by itself, but again, we have other revenue creators that we think, all in all told, over our goal is by 2017 to be revenue neutral. The one you point out is just our hourly rate for Monday through Thursdays on this facility, which is a very low rent. Getting midweek rentals is very difficult, but getting weekend rentals, we're taking it out of the park. So it's there that we're trying to be more competitive.
So I appreciate you guys taking a good hard look at this, and one of the things I think you've all heard me say before is that we use the word competition in different ways around here. In this case, I think because we're subsidizing, we're competing against the private marketplace. It also has offerings that would like to book more. And when we're priced too low, then we're, I think, inappropriately competing with them. So I appreciate that these prices are going to go up a bit. And I wrote down that we will be revenue neutral by 2017, so I'll come back in a couple of years and revisit this with you.
Everybody's got to have a goal.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I love these new microphones, by the way. These are awesome. I don't have to talk a lot. All right, moving on to Adam again. So, Diane?
Authorize an increase to the total authorized contract amount with Western Refinery Services Incorporated on the 2014 asphalt and concrete repairs project via change order in the amount of $61,923.86 plus a contingency of $6,076.14 for a total contract increase amount of $68,000.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. This change is being done in response to the airlines and their changing aircraft. What you will note is they are changing aircraft away from the MD-80s to a much quieter airplane, which I think has good benefit for us with our neighbors. The restriping involves the complete rearrangement of the commercial apron, all 8 parking positions. So it's removal of all those that have kind of just sort of grown and evolved over the years. Most of the stripes on there are pertinent, however, some are not. So we remove all those and we paint it fresh with the demand of the airlines as it is today. We are hoping to use this WRS contract as they have other airfield striping, and the work needs to get done this season, and we're of course running out of good weather. So, do the commissioners have any questions?
None? Is this a change order?
It is.
Okay, I thought so. I was trying to recall where this was in a previous contract, but this wasn't in the paving contract we got. Where's Fred? We had some, hey Fred, we've got some paving going on this year. This is not part of that contract. This is part of the airports.
It's part of the paving contract this year, but we do have striping and that coincides with the contract.
Right.
This particular scope of work is not in there, that's why we're bringing it.
Okay. The only thing I would caution is let's try to catch change orders before they happen. In my business, I love them, but since we're on the other side paying the bill, I don't like them as much.
Yeah, I think
So,
there's
yeah.
a specialized contract
Yeah.
that does FAA work.
Yeah,
I assume that's who we're using here.
What's WRS?
As a subcontractor to WRS.
That's correct. The subcontractor is Stripe Right, who does a lot of FAA striping.
sure. Okay. Sounds good. Oh, quick question. Dan, where's Dan's at? Oh, hi Dan. So, the Alaska planes, are they parking okay now?
The Alaska planes are parking fine. This is a preparation of the changeover from Legion to the.
So this is just for Legion? Okay, all right, cool. All right, that's it for me. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
If you want to go back to item 1, I'll take a shot at it.
Makes about 5 minutes out, so.
You want to take a break and wait for him?
I can handle
Do
it.
you want to wait for
I
Fred?
can handle the item. I know enough about it.
Well,
Are you good with that?
I'm good to drop
Okay,
it.
all right, sounds good.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Motion authorizing the executive director to execute the settlement agreement between the Port of Bellingham and Lexington Insurance Company and the state of Alaska for the funding of the repair of the passenger ramp at the Bellingham Cruise Terminal.
So as you know, in November 2012, our passenger ramp, which you can look at right outside that window there, was damaged. And it's been covered by our insurance, the repairs. We have a $25,000 deductible for our insurance. Frank has negotiated with the state of Alaska and our insurance company to cover 50% of the repairs each, and that gets us a $25,000 deductible back. So we will be out zero money for the repairs of the ramp. There's still a personal injury case out there that needs to be settled, but for the actual physical damage to the ramp, that will be repaired at no cost to the port.
I'd pick some people up at the ferry and watch them walk off the car ramp. And I'm just kind of curious why it's taken so long to decide to fix that ramp. How long, number one, how long has it been?
Well, we had to, so first of all, it had to be out of service while they studied it, both, because it's a work-related accident, it had to be studied by the engineers to determine exactly what happened. Second, and after that was concluded, we had to negotiate an agreement on who would pay for the damage that was done to it, whether it's the state of Alaska, whether it's our insurance company, et cetera. So it's taken a long time because of those negotiations and for the investigation.
It's been about a year?
A year and a half, I believe.
Year and a half.
So just for Dan's benefit, so we were negotiating who would pay for it because Alaska said it wasn't their fault.
Well,
Yeah,
Alaska's-
AMHS, I should say.
Yeah, AMHS is now paying 50% of the cost of that, that repair for the structural damage. And then our insurance is covering the other 50. So no one's admitted any fault, of
Yeah.
course, but they've agreed to pay 50% of the price tag.
That's what took so long, which was nuts. I mean, even getting the design, didn't we just get the design for it this year? Yeah, so we just,
Fred, did we just get the design this year?
yeah.
The repairs, was that just design this year?
It's been going on for a little longer than that, when we did.
I thought we authorized it.
From the start of the design to where we sit right now, it's like,
And the employee that was injured was not a port employee?
No, an AMHS employee.
Do port employees ever operate that way?
No. No, it's either done, AMHS does it, the first initial setting is done by the shipyard next door here when the ferry first comes in to port. And then periodically through the day, the AMHS crew hops onto it and adjusts it based on tide levels.
Good.
No questions.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Oh, when's it gonna be done, by the way?
Fred?
Do we have a date? Do we have a date on it? Couple months? Okay.
They're out there now, and I just saw a guy walking down there.
mobilized this week.
Yeah.
Well, if he's doing what I would normally do, I'd be standing around staring at it with a cup of coffee, so.
He was draining hydraulic fluid. He had a big bucket, and there was yellow, I assume, hydraulic fluid.
Well, we have now set a new record for a fast meeting. It
Oh,
probably-
we've got new business. We have a new business item.
Unless there's nothing new, what's new?
There is a new business
Okay.
item. Bellwether Gate, Ebenall's property, has been trying to refinance, and they didn't get their work in on time to make your agenda packet. However, Shirley and our legal team has been working with the lender's legal team, and they've arrived at some language that we believe is good for the deal. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Shirley, or to Judy, sorry.
A motion by the commission to authorize the executive director to execute the following agreements in connection with Bellwether Gate LLC Building A, which are associated with the refinancing of Building A, provided, however, that the loan closes and subject to Bellwether Gate paying the port the legal fees associated with this transaction, and authorize the executive director to execute any other agreements that may be necessary to finalize this refinancing transaction. The ground lessor's estoppel certificate and amendment to ground lease, consent to assignment of lease for collateral. Court staff and legal counsel have reviewed all of these documents. The following related documents do not require court approval: the assignment of leases and rents by Bellwether Gate LLC Building A to Pillar Multifamily LLC, deed of trust securing the leasehold interest of Bellwether Gate LLC Building A.
Thank you, Diane. Good afternoon, Commissioners. In March of 2009, the Commission approved the lease with Bellwether Gate for Building A, owned by David Evanall. Bellwether Gate is refinancing Building A with Pillar Multifamily LLC, the lender, which is a subsidiary of Guggenheimen. Of note, lender would have the right to freely assign the ground lease throughout the loan securitization process. Of further note, if Bellwether Gate defaults on the loan, the lender will have the right to freely assign its position to a successor tenant who succeeds the interest of Bellwether Gate under the lease. The successor tenant would have the one-time right to sell and/or assign the leasehold to a purchaser. However, any such assignments are subject to the type of use conditions contained in the ground lease, which are general office and retail, with significant restrictions already existing and in place. Further, financing could not result in a loan-to-value ratio greater than 75%. Regarding insurance proceeds, if there is damage or casualty to Building A and the loan is unpaid, insurance proceeds must be used by the tenant for payment of cost of repair, reconstruction, or replacement of damage to Building A and associated improvements. Such insurance proceeds would be held in and dispersed from an escrow account. The bottom line is the underlying ground lease will continue to govern the disposition of such insurance proceeds. Commissioners, the timing is very important to our customer in this transaction. The risk is low as the rent for Building A was prepaid in full on September 1 of 2010. So staff are asking that the commission please authorize the executive director the authority to execute the documents 1 and 2 as noted on the memo to allow our customer to complete this refinancing transaction. And that concludes staff's presentation.
A quick question for you on this one. So the assignment of the ground lease, which is pretty normal, requires our consent, but the use of what's in the building?
It requires that the underlying terms and conditions type of use be followed in any such assignments, and that is general office use and retail. And there is already very strict restrictions as far as what can't go in.
So there's nothing new in this as far as,
That's
far as that
correct,
goes.
nothing new.
okay.
And in changing lenders, will this bring our tenant current on money owed the port?
Say again? Excuse me.
Will this new financial package, will that bring the tenant current on any back monies owed to the port?
Absolutely, that is correct, Commissioner.
And that would take place at the time of the execution?
That is correct. And are you referring to Building D in particular, or?
Is this one not Building A?
This is Building A.
And it's not in default?
No, it's been
No,
paid
it's
in
just
full.
delayed.
Oh, it's just delayed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is one that came up a few months ago, we had to do it, or a couple months ago, we had to do another delay to get this financing in place.
That was a different transaction,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing further?
All right,
Thank you.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Sure. That's all the news? Nothing? All right, anything from anybody else? Nothing at all? Mark, you're here, you got anything? Okay.
That's a good thing to do.
Uh-oh. All right then, in that case, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you all for
A record meeting.
making one more trek across town with all the traffic.